Hi, I'm Skip Mounts. It's 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Brunswick. I'm Skip Mounts. I'm the dean of the School of Business at the college. 1 Million Cups is an educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation of Kansas City. Its purpose is to engage, encourage, and support entrepreneurs, and to help create an entrepreneurial network and a community of supportive mentors. We will have 2 entrepreneurs. I know we have one here now. We hope to have the second here soon. Make six-minute presentations about their ventures, the challenges that they face, lessons that they have learned, and problems they might be solving. After each one, there will be 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A from you all with them. Our goal is very simple: to have creative people talk to other creative people, in hopes that this conversation encourages others to follow their creativity in order to enhance the diversity and vibrancy of our community. I made a mistake last month. There are 93 other cities that do this. I said 91. It's growing all along. But again, I want to point out our presentations are the only one that have flashing stars behind the presenters. So ours are cool. And we're in the only bar. So let me introduce some of our sponsors. First of all, let us not forget, again, applause again, Susan Bates. So Tipsy, McSway. When she opened the door at 8:15, she had one of those looks on her face like she might kill me. She's just flown back. She has a cold, but she's great, and we would not be here if it wasn't for her support. I'd like to thank Rick. Rick Townsend of the Golden Isles Career Academy for filming. Bo Man of Wake Up Coffee for the Wake Up Coffee we have there. Also, we are always trying to get the word out. So if you would look at one of our slides for all of our social media sites, and if you'd like to keep informed with what we're doing, just like us, friend us, follow us, or do whatever you do. If you don't do those things at those sites, we have a tip jar back on the bar where you could leave a business card. We would like to add you to our distribution list. I see we actually have tips being left as well. Thank you very much. Or if you don't have a business card, you would just put your name and address on the pad that's on the bar. That would be appreciated. Do we have new folks here today? This is great. I appreciate this. This is a great crowd. What we usually do is we will have a presenter. We will have them present question and answers. We'll then take a break. You can refresh your coffee. You can network around, be encouraging, do what you do, and then we will have our second presenter. Our first presenter is Dave Snyder of Hook and Knife Charters. Now, most of you all, if you have not eaten at one of Dave's restaurants, you have made a mistake. Dave is well known. His restaurants are well known. But we now get to see an entrepreneurial side of Dave. Entrepreneurs are often driven to what they do because of passion that they have. And I've known Dave since I've been here, and I know he's extraordinarily passionate about good food and good service, but he's also extraordinarily passionate about fishing. So I would like to ask Dave Snyder to come up and take the stand.
Good morning. How y'all doing today? Oh, well, thanks for having me. Hey, Chef, how are you today? And Susan, yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us. Hook and Knife Charters. It's born from passion, much like the two restaurants. Brought to this area to work at another restaurant, and my passion took me a little step further, and went to the bank and borrowed a whole bunch of money and opened up the restaurants, which was a great blessing. We're incredibly lucky, and thank you for visiting as often as you do. And what I found about 15, 17 years ago was fishing, and it used to be golf. And now if I have a few hours, or 4 of them free, I am on the water or in the water. Not on the golf course anymore, although when I was on the golf course I tended to go into the water. Maybe that was the segue. And what I realized about 6, 8 years ago is that retirement for me in a perfect world is going to be having a restaurant at a marina where I'm fishing Monday through Friday, or Monday through Wednesday, maybe Thursday. And on Friday and Saturday, I'm going to have a little restaurant, much like this. And I'm going to ask you to just come on in, no menu. And you're going to give me, I don't know, $40. And I'm going to cook for you. And hopefully I'm going to cook what I caught earlier that week. And it would help me keep that passion of cooking, because that's a huge passion. I love that part of my world. But I also love fishing. I love being on the water, and I love the solitude. And as much as the ocean makes me feel so incredibly small and tiny and minute, I just love that escape. And I look forward to doing that. So how am I going to make that happen? Well, at the same time, I'm always thinking, and Reg knows I'm guilty of this, I always have crazy ideas. And I said, well, one way maybe to expand the brand is to get into fishing. And I became a charter captain. And Hook and Knife's theory is it's going to be a little bit different than your typical charter. Your typical charter, you go out, you fish, you have a great time, and there are a lot of great charter captains here. And you get back to the dock, and you shake hands, and you go home. Well, Hook and Knife's difference is that, as far as I can see on the internet, and I can only find one other person that does it part of the time, is that our charter ends at the restaurant. We're going to go out, we're going to catch maybe some flounder, we're going to catch a little bit of trout, and our charter ends when you come to the restaurant that night, and I'm going to cook your dinner. And if we catch some flounder, I'm going to make flounder ceviche. We get some trout, who knows what we're going to do with it, maybe whole roasted trout over some vegetables or something. And for me, it's a full circle of 2 of my passions. Love to go out and catch a fish. Love to go out and have that solitude. And I love to cook. And I love that sense of hospitality. So it was kind of a no-brainer. And what's been really neat and what I've found so far is that my typical guest on the boat is not a professional fisherman. People that travel all over the country or all over the world, they come here and they find other captains that do this for a living, full-time, whether it be Larry Kennedy or Scott Owens or Rob Aldridge or Ashley Parmalee. Those are the guys that do it for a living. But what I'm finding in my guests is someone that wants to talk about food, someone that wants to talk about hospitality, someone that wants to know something about the restaurants. And what I'm finding is that the conversation on the boat is more about food than it is about fishing. And it's a great way for me to bring into someone's world the restaurant world. So it's been really interesting. And the dynamic that I'm trying to figure out, and maybe y'all can help me please, is I want to expand the service of it. I want it to be successful. And I also don't want to insult the Larry Kennedys and the Greg Hildreths of our community, all the full-time charter captains, because they're doing it for a living. I'm not doing this for a living. This is a segue into retirement. This is a way to kind of expand the restaurant brand a little bit and separate the restaurants a little bit. So I don't advertise. I don't do anything online other than a website. I don't do any Google ads. I don't do any Facebook ads with it. I don't have any ads in the newspaper. I'm not in any handouts. I'm not in any print ad. It's all word of mouth, which I believe is probably the best word of mouth, the best advertising. So I still want to expand a little bit because I'd like to get a little bit busier than I am. I'm only looking to do one charter a week. And I'm not quite doing that. But I also don't want to go and advertise and again insult the other captains that are out there trying to make a living at this. And I'd like to think that a lot of these charter captains are also sending me business at the restaurants. So I don't want to ruin that relationship. I still want them to say, hey, look, if I'm Ashley Parmalee and I go out there and I catch some snapper with my guests, I want Ashley to come back to the dock and say, hey, by the way, if you're staying in Brunswick, go see Susan. If you're staying on St. Simon's, go see Dave and they'll cook your catch. So the dynamic is, how do I get busier without advertising? That's kind of the challenge that I have on the table. Then the other challenge is, how do I find someone to buy my restaurant so I can retire and start fishing? So that's kind of what I'm all about. It's just a nice small little business and I'm looking to expand a little bit. That's what I know. Yes, sir. What are the restaurants? Halyard's Restaurant and Tremici Restaurant. Yes, ma'am.
David, after you have given your guests a wonderful dinner to end the day, when they leave, do they leave with anything tangible that lets them remember you? A coffee cup, t-shirt, something that says, this was my adventure with hook and knife?
No, they don't. I've got a business card, is about it. And the business cards that I have is two-faced. One is the restaurant, the other is the hook and knife.
That might be something to consider as a form of advertising. What they're taking away with them is a gift for every, kind of rounds out the whole day.
Sure, something tangible. Gotcha. Yes, ma'am.
There are different travel agents that one of the things they're trying to do is put unusual packages together for people traveling that have those two passions, or that interest in fishing and wow, that'd be really cool because I love to eat. So that might be a way or a segue or looking at the travel industry to
Sure, travel
write
agents.
something
Mhm.
or that sort of way. Not heavy advertising, but it's just, hello, I exist.
Right.
Should,
And I'm different.
right.
Okay.
You could repeat the question, Dave.
The suggestion is to go to travel agents because they're always looking for something different and something unusual. You're saying I'm unusual? You're saying I'm unusual, aren't you? I am. I'm in the restaurant business. Susan? Matt? Yeah, we're different, aren't we? It is on the menu. It is on the very bottom of the menu. It says if you want the freshest catch available, ask Chef Dave to take you fishing. So it is there. Yes, sir.
How many people do you take on a trip and how many rods do you have and what does it cost?
How many people do I take? How many rods do I have and what does it cost? A half-day charter is in line with everybody else, about $400. On the bigger boat, I can take up to 3. On the small boat, I like to take 1. And I probably have like 45 rods. It's a little embarrassing.
How many rods, what I meant was, I wanted to know how many people fish from the boat on a trip. Do you take one, you can't really say it, you take one, you like to take one person.
Take 1 person on the small boat and take 3 people fishing on the large boat.
So you might have 3 or 4 depending on whatever.
Exactly. So, and it's nice. And on the bigger boat, if we can get 3 people, it always helps at the dinner table too. Have a little bit more fun. Yes,
Is
sir.
dinner inclusive when you take charter out, whether they catch fish or not?
Is dinner inclusive? Dinner is not inclusive in that price. When I was looking to get into the business, I didn't think that it was correct of me or right of me to charge the same as the professional charter captains. I didn't think that my knowledge and the service that I had was equal to that of Greg and Scott and Larry and all those guys because I haven't been doing it. And I actually reached out to them and I said, do you think I can go out there and charge the same amount? I don't want to go and charge less and look like I'm undercutting people. And they were very quick to say, you should be in the same ballpark. You have the right equipment. You have nice equipment. You know where you're going. You've got all the credentials. So what I do that's a little bit different is a $25 gift card is included in that $400. And the thought is if when we catch the fish that day to bring it in for dinner, and if we don't, we can always fry off the shrimp, that we use for bait. Is that $25 will pay for your entree that night. Because what we do is if anybody wants to come to the restaurant with what they caught that day, is we charge $17 for that plate of food. You bring a fish and we'll cook it for you. So in essence, you're getting your entree for free. So that's a way to kind of include the restaurants a little bit. Yes, ma'am.
I would suggest using social media to get the word out, but do it in a way that the people who charter with you tell the story. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram is doing it. It has a new, they just launched a storytelling mechanism. Allow them to tell the story of they're going on this charter and then ending up at the table with the food that you prepared. Facebook also has a video mechanism that people can actually videotape and it's post immediately. And that's one way that you're not advertising and the people who are on your charter will have a souvenir because they are definitely blogging or charting what they're doing. They have something tangible to show what they've done. So that might be something that you can suggest or somehow incorporate into your operation.
So the suggestion is to use social media. And are you suggesting that the guest does that?
I'm suggesting the guest does it.
Okay.
And the guest, because the guest will have their phone, they will be able to videotape when they get a catch or when someone gets their catch. They'll also be able to, they're actually documenting their trip, which is what people do now.
Sure.
They document their trip using Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and it's very simple. So that's what I'm suggesting.
Personal. I like it. Yes, ma'am. The age demographic is the question. 40 to 50. 40 to 50. Okay. Yeah, it's an older crowd than I anticipated. And again, it's not a fishing crowd. It's a restaurant crowd. Oh no, not at all. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off of what she said. I was sitting here thinking about, because Facebook Live is what she was referring to. It is the preferred post right now with Facebook. It's going to the top of the algorithm. So you could take a video of your phone and post it to Facebook, or you could do a live, and live's going to get a whole lot more engagement than your video is. So you could even do something like you're getting ready for your guests to come, and you're on the boat, and hey, this is Dave Snyder here, we're about to you just tell people what you just kind of tell the story a little bit. So you could do a minute, 2 minutes, or somebody could catch something, and you could show what they caught, what you're going to do that day, just a little talking, and people are going to see that more than they see anything else, because that's just the way it is working right now. This Mark Zuckerberg talks about it all the time. That's the thing right now, is video, live video. So you have to be ready and know what you're going to say, because it's going to go live right then. If you don't like it, you can delete it, but people can rewatch it.
Kind of like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you're like building that trust factor. People are like, oh, I like this guy. I like what he's doing. And it's just telling the story, and it's free. So
And it doesn't have to be perfect,
yeah.
which is better.
Like this.
Like this.
Exactly.
So the suggestion is using Facebook Live, short little videos which are going to the top of the algorithms and getting used the most. I like that too. Any other questions about anything? Yes, ma'am.
You have issues with people who might get queasy going out fishing.
Do I have
Is that ever?
guests that get sick? I had a big burly gentleman this past week said that he wanted to go shark fishing and tarpon fishing. And some of the best fishing for that is right on the sandbars where the waves do this. Big burly guy came out and said, am I going to get seasick? And I said, well, do you get seasick? He said, yes, I do. And I said, then yes, you will. And his son kind of looked up at his father. Really, Dad? So he got a little seasick, so we came inside and we fished in the river, and he was fine. But yeah, it happens. It happens. It's just funny that it's just a big burly dude. Any other questions? No? All right, well, yes, ma'am.
One more suggestion for free advertising is having it so that you make
So the suggestion is using kids as my mechanism. Child labor laws, I'll have to look into that one. But it's amazing because I hear a lot of stuff with the kids when they're talking in the courtyard versus their parents. Well, you're right, and they always speak the truth, don't they? Any other questions, suggestions? Well, thank you very much, y'all. Appreciate it.
Let's take a break. You can refresh your coffee, and we will try to identify